Welcome to the Be Wise podcast. I am your host, Chris Wright, where we talk politics, entertainment, social media, and sports. A special day. You see, I got my Steelers gear on. And why do I have my Steelers gear on? Because it was a big day in PA this week. Donald Trump visited the Pittsburgh Steelers game versus the Jets. I live in New York. Of course, we bashed them. But also, he had a rally in PA, and a lot of former Steelers went to the rally. Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace, Le'Veon Bell, and created some backlash, created kind of a firestorm. Le'Veon Bell came out with his new apparel. And so it was quite the week in Pittsburgh. And let's check out Donald Trump at the Steelers game. Yeah, and as I said, he also had his rally in Latrobe, PA, home of Arnold Palmer, and gave a nice speech there. But not only did he give his rally speech, but he invited the Steelers up on the stage to say a few words.
And Le'Veon Bell, really good players. And then Mike Wallace, come on up, fellas, come on. Let's vote for Trump, baby.
Check out that jacket.
Let's go Trump. You already know. Vote Trump. Let's go.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go, Steelers.
Yeah, so they were at the rally, which was pretty cool. A lot of backlash came from that. And AB even gave a speech.
Here we go.
Wasn't a bad speech either.
What it do, baby?
What it do?
I got one of my friends out here, Le'Veon Bell. Make some noise for Le'Veon Bell. I got Mike Wallace came today. He's over there as well. I want to say, first and foremost, thanks for having me here today. It's amazing to be back in Pittsburgh. It's an honor to be here with the best fans in the world. Make some noise for the Steelers fans. This will be booming going against Tim Watts. Tampon Tim Watts. Really booming going against him. Now back to the rest of my speech. I came to Pittsburgh as a 6th-round draft pick, an underdog, but the people in the city really embraced me.
Yeah, on and on. So you can go watch the speech, pull it up on YouTube, wherever, and it is what it is. But he gave a speech, and, kudos to Trump for allowing AB to give that speech. We also had a field rusher. Yeah.
I'm filming.
A Trump field rusher. Let's get proclamation. 10. 20, 30. They didn't tackle her. They didn't tackle her. You have to wonder, where was security? They probably were all up watching the Trump suite because, he's been shot at a couple of times. So, or, I don't know. But my point is that a lot of streakers or field rushers, they don't even make it to the 30. He got all the way down to the 50. One thing I want to point out is that Donald Trump did win PA in 2016, has a really, really big following in Western Pennsylvania.
News here, Megan. Huge news. Actually, the AP now projecting that Donald Trump has won the state of Pennsylvania. That is the race, frankly. There
I won
is
it.
no path forward for Hillary Clinton. If this, we've just seen that Pennsylvania has been called by AP. I think for me, this is one of the most stunning results of the night. We had seen her up comfortably 5 to 6 points. When we go through the data and we look at where he sort of held up, it was in some of the suburban counties, huge showing in the western part of the state. You can see the faces right now. We're looking at a live shot that looks like Clinton headquarters. That's actually Donald Trump headquarters. I see all the red hats there. That will be the moment they have been waiting for. I can't even imagine the cheers will be, and the cheers will be going on. And we.
Yeah, so Donald Trump did win PA in 2016, large following in Western Pennsylvania. And that just was the one that kept a lot of Democrats up at night, in fetal position, very sad because Donald Trump won. At that time, I did vote Democrat. I did vote for Hillary Clinton because I had just come off 8 high years of Barack Obama. And but since then, I've changed my political following. But nevertheless, you know, I do want to point out the fact that Antonio Brown and those guys, they caught a lot of flack. Tons of headlines of Ryan Clark making a big stink about those guys supporting Donald Trump. And it's kind of sad that you can't support who you want to support these days without, someone making an issue out of it. Here was a X post from Ryan Clark. I got to get out of the habit of saying tweet, so it's called an X post, I guess. Former Pittsburgh Steelers are split on the presidential election. One side has Mean Joe Green, Jerome Bettis, and the family of Franco Harris supporting her, and the other has Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. Different class of folks for sure. I mean, was that like a dig on Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown, he snapped back. If you go on X and look at Antonio Brown's snapback, he said, "Yeah, but Troy Polamalu carried your team." So I thought that was a good dig. Of course, you had to hear from Jamel Hill. She had her little say in this situation because she was mad because Le'Veon Bell wore a T-shirt. She goes, "I don't believe in telling athletes to shut up and dribble, or in your case, shut up and run the football. You have the right to say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean it protects you from public criticism and correction. To call a highly educated, accomplished Black woman a tramp is despicable. I'm embarrassed. We went to the same university." And what she's talking about is if you look at that shirt he had on, um, it says Trump or tramp. And you can find this T-shirt all over the internet. I think Le'Veon Bell sells them. You can get them in different colors: red, white, black, gray. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying that go get one. But I just think it's kind of funny that none of them said anything about um, AB calling Tim Walz Tampon Tim. Silence. But because they insulted Kamala, that was something to tweet about. And that's the race, peddling, because they're supporting Kamala because she's a quote unquote Black woman according to them, but nothing about Tampon Tim. So I just thought that was kind of ironic. But you can get a Trump or Tramp shirt online if you choose to, and yeah, go from there. A lot of backlash, and it was to me it was kind of unwarranted. All right. So yeah, big week in Pittsburgh, big week in PA, and look like there's a lot of Steelers support for that. Also in politics, Eminem, who's one of my favorite rappers. See, big week. He visited. He spoke at the Kamala Harris rally, and guess who else was there? Of course, Barack Obama. Let's give them a look.
Detroit.
Love him.
What
Nice
up,
hat
though?
too. What a dude.
So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you. I'm here tonight for a couple of important reasons. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the whole state of Michigan mean a lot to me. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please. I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. President Barack Obama.
People love Barack Obama. I love Barack Obama. Let me say this about Barack Obama. Big fan. I love the guy. Not just the president. So for right now, for a moment, let's take politics out the equation. I like the man. He seems like a really good dude. I don't know him personally, but I like him. Out of the negative limelight. For 1 minute, I just want you to think about the guy he was. And I will always be a fan, regardless of my party or political affiliation. I just wanted to put that out there because you say what you want about his politics, whether you agreed with his policies. Rock was a good dude. He was a good dude. But another thing I like about him, very authentic, had swagger. He didn't code switch. He's the same Obama today as he was when he first ran. He's been this guy that you're going to see every step of the way all the time. And it's why people love him. It's why people lose their minds over him. Like when he comes out, look at this crowd. They love this guy. Wait till he gets up to the podium.
Hello, Detroit.
He's a rock star.
You fired up?
Ready to go.
Are you ready to go?
Fired up. Ready to go.
Hey, I've got to say, let me just say, let me just say,
We love that guy. You'll never see a president get that kind of love ever again. It's a Donald Trump, of course.
I got to say, I have done a lot of rallies, so I don't usually get nervous. But I was feeling some kind of way following Eminem. I mean, I notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
That was great. That was great. Oh my God. How do you not miss that guy? How do you not miss Barack Obama? I know some of you don't like his antics. I know a lot of people that are conservative. I remember he wore a tan suit and y'all lost your minds. That was an awesome suit. But he's always had that swagger. So regardless of how you vote now, whether you're conservative, Democrat, liberal, whatever you want to call yourself, woke, you can't deny that he was the dude. All right, so before we finish up today, I want to talk about Michael Vick was on the Sway Show on Sirius XM. And what I want to tell you about my affection for Michael Vick and why I wanted to point this out. So I got a few favorite athletes in my lifetime. Top one, number one of one, Muhammad Ali. I was a kid when Muhammad Ali was in boxing. I've adored him, not just for boxing, But for what he meant to humanity, what he meant to Black people, how he changed my way of thinking, the greatest, the whole nine. Love Muhammad Ali. I didn't like the way God had chosen his ending. Wasn't a fan. So that's between him and God. But my point was, I just love Muhammad Ali. My second favorite athlete of all time was Allen Iverson, just because that he represented the hood. He was unapologetic. We talking about practice speech was passionate, heartfelt, and that's all. Some people only heard we talking about practice, but if you had heard the whole press conference, he said a lot. He talked about how God made him. God decides who he's going to be. Very religious young man. The fact that he kept it real, again, unapologetic, brought hip hop to the NBA, the cornrows, the tattoos, the baggy shorts, the do rags, the whole nine. That's where we came from. That was our existence in the hood. Third all time favorite athlete is Michael Vick. Yep, Michael Vick got in trouble with the dog fighting, took a lot of flack, went to jail, served his time. Great redemption. Came back to NFL after. Tony Dungy went to see him, put his stamp of approval on him. Said this is the changed man. He's rehabilitated. He's remorseful. He's sorry, and gave him a shot. Andy Reid gave him a shot to play on the Eagles. He did very well. Was a role model for his young teammates. Mike Tomlin gave him a shot on the Steelers. Fox gave him a shot on NFL Sports. Became an NFL analyst. And yeah, so those are my top three. I love those guys. But what I want to say is that he's on this show, Sway. He's doing great things now. He's producing documentaries. He's coaching. He's mentoring. And the only thing I wish, though, is when he talks about, when he's interviewed, even when he's not asked about that dogfighting era, the jail era, the imprisonment, I wish he brought it up sometimes as teaching moments. And you're going to see on this video where Sway is going to ask him, do you think you'll make it to the Hall of Fame? And he says no, but he talks about it for other reasons. And I'll give you my opinion after we watch this.
Yeah. Give it up for the one and only Michael Vick.
Hey, when I heard 4-time Pro Bowler, it make me upset because it should have been 5.
Come on, man. Talk to us, man. What happened?
Yeah, being young.
Okay.
Being young, I flicked the crowd off. I was actually flicking off a New Orleans Saints fan. People get it misconstrued, thinking it was I was flicking off a Falcons fan. But it was a day and time when there wasn't no social media, and I tried to get away with something and think people was watching, but that told me that people always watching.
Always.
So I was having a good year that year. It was like 2006.
Yeah.
And I just had a moment. And so, that would have been 5 Pro Bowls. And, they say 5 Pro Bowls is like automatic Hall of Fame, so I think I missed that bowl.
Nah, man. Michael Vick is here, man. Big round of applause. Nah, Hall of Fame, bro. We got to.
Damn.
Nah, man.
I was young, bro.
You were young, but still I don't know what the criteria is for Hall of Fame, but the impact you made on the game alone should warrant you a Hall of Fame entry.
Yeah.
What do you think the likelihood is? Seriously, I know we joke a little bit, but
I don't know. I always, leave it up to the people decide on, how they view my career. Could have been better. Could have done things different. What more could have happened? I know when I think about the things that I was able to accomplish, I'm very proud of them. I know it was a lot of meat left on the bone. I know it was more that I could do. When I talk to the guys in this generation, I try to help them be more prepared than I was. Because I know if I would have just did a little bit more, it might have led to a more accomplishments. But I was fortunate enough to have a guy like Andy Reid at the end of my career to help me become the consummate pro that I always wanted to be. And so, I always had great leadership as far as coaches in my life. And so you got to have that, man. That's why they call coaches, man, because they leaders in their own right, and they help us as young men, grow into men.
So it's moments like that that he could say, hey, Michael Vick, do you ever really think you can make it into the Hall of Fame? By all means, talk about the other things. Talk about, you were short a Pro Bowl. Talk about you made some mistakes. He in this interview, he also talks about, he was a young man. Atlanta is a crazy city. A lot of rappers, T.I., Young Jeezy, Master P, all these people from New Orleans. I'm not New Orleans, I'm sorry, Atlanta. I didn't mean to mention Master P. Forgive that one. But in 2001, the Atlanta music scene was bumping. And that's when he came into the league. He also had the cornrows and represented the hood, et cetera, et cetera. He was talking about how he was staying out at parties till 4 a.m., not reading the playbook, having to get to practice by 6:30, the whole nine. But sometimes also add another reason I'm not going to make it to the Hall of Fame because I got that whole dogfighting thing on my resume. I went to prison, this, that, and the other. Use that as a teaching moment. Use that as an opportunity to tell young men, don't be me. Stay out of trouble. You could ruin your whole career by, being cool or doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? And like I said, I already know that when he does interviews and things like that, he probably got tired of microphones in his face, having to talk about the dogfighting, having to talk about the prison time. But it's over. You've redeemed yourself. You're doing good things. You're doing documentaries. You're doing production. You're coaching. You're mentoring youth. You're doing a lot of stuff. So sometimes take those opportunities, but especially when you are on Black shows like Sway, The Breakfast Club, Drink Champs, things like that, where you have an opportunity to talk about those times. Bring them up and talk to the young Black youth about those times and how that kind of stuff can get you in trouble. So I just wish he, had touched on that a little bit, but to each its own. He's figured it out. He's figured out how to navigate that part of his life, and it's not for me to tell him how to do that. And we're going to end this on a note where he was asked about his top 5 quarterbacks of all time, and kind of interesting.
Yeah. Michael Vick is here. Fred Anthony Smith. They are here. We're talking about the Prime Video Sports SMAC Entertainment project titled The Evolution of the Black Quarterback is available Tuesday the 24th. As you sip on the way out, real quick, I don't want you to take too long to think about this. Michael Vick, your top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Of all time. Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Of all time. So, in no particular order, Steve Young.
Bay Area. I'm sorry.
My bad. Time.
Who's in the dock?
Look, okay. And it's no offense to anybody who's listening. You'll know why this list is as great as it is. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Come on, Pat. I see you.
Donovan McNabb for what he did for the game.
Okay. Okay.
And then myself.
There you go. Give it up for Michael Vick. Give it up for Fred.
So top 5. Now, of course, you're always going to put yourself in the top 5. I don't care who you are, whether it's football, basketball, rapper. Someone asks you who your top 5 are, you got to put your name in there. Because you believe in yourself, of course. But I didn't get to Donovan McNabb. He said for what he meant to the game, for what, I don't know. Maybe it's because, he was one of the first or second prominent QBs. But I don't know. I probably wouldn't have put Donovan McNabb in my top 4 and then add myself. But that was quite interesting. But yeah, so I just want to say that go watch that interview with Michael Vick and Sway. It was about 30 minutes long. And he said some interesting things about what he's currently doing. I don't know why he's no longer a Fox NFL analyst. Maybe Fox took too much heat from the public. There's still some people out there who won't ever forgive him for, the dogfighting, but it is what it is. But on that note, this was a sports episode along with a little Obama and Eminem sprinkled in. I call that pop culture. And other than that, you guys, you take care. And as I always say at the end of my podcast, peace.